is Shannon Bustos. I'm with Higher Yields Cannabis Consulting. Here's 5 tips for selecting a site for your cannabis facility. Number 1, local approval. Make sure you are zoned properly with the Planning and Zoning Committee. That's really key and the first area you should start when you're looking for a cannabis type of property. If it's not zoned correctly, then you're not going to be able to use that for any sort of cannabis transactions. Speak with the police department, speak with the fire department, meet the mayor. It's always really good to have positive relationships even after you purchase or lease your facility. These departments have a lot of say in what you can do in your area, in your facility, so it's nice to have a positive relationship. Number 2, overpaying for potential. What does it mean to overpay for potential? Sometimes you have to take the deal that's on the table, but be sure to make sure there's a good understanding between the buyer and the seller. Green tax is a real thing when it comes to the cannabis real estate. Most transactions, you're probably going to pay over market value. In a survey done by a Denver-based development group, they say 76% of commercial real estate brokers handling cannabis deals in all states where cannabis is legal in some form reported cannabis deals priced over market. And remember, in the cannabis industry, traditional financing isn't available. It's all either private financing or cash. Cash is king when it comes to cannabis real estate. Number 3, site improvements. I feel like this one is most looked over. So a lot of growers can calculate numbers for interior walls, lights, fertigation, but 4 out of 5 times the biggest expense a new owner will incur during the build-out process are site improvements. So if there is a building that was 40,000 square feet and you want to break it into 4 10,000 square feet facilities, you might need to upgrade the plumbing. A quick story, there was a warehouse a team was looking at, and bird's eye view, the property seemed fantastic. Location was great. It was zoned properly. Ceiling heights were ideal. The building was 100 years old. Well, when you make site improvements on an old property like that, you really open up a whole new can of worms. So the plumbing, drainage, replacing any sort of pipes, that was going to be extremely expensive. Is there enough power? Probably not. How far away is the nearest power source? So if it's a land situation, is there power on the land you want to purchase or lease? How far is it going to be to tap into a power source, and how long is it going to take, and really how much is that upgrade going to cost you? Number 4, due diligence. Take your time. Continue due diligence throughout the entire transaction. Speak with the city and county for the history of the building. So if it's a warehouse, what was manufactured there prior to you purchasing or leasing the facility? Was it a cultivation prior to you wanting to cultivate there? If so, then were there mold issues? What type of pesticides did they use? What's the soil like? Make sure you aren't close to schools, rehab facilities, or daycare. So this goes into the continued due diligence part as well. A team was interested in opening a dispensary. They found a great property. First round of looking at zoning, it was fine. It was going to work. Well, sometimes these transactions take a lot of time. In the process of getting their license approved, a daycare was also getting established, and now zoning was a new hurdle. And read your local ordinances. Number 5, what types of professionals do you need? Cannabis experience. I really can't stress the cannabis background enough, especially when it comes to writing contracts. If your team's waiting for licensing approval, you want to make sure the purchase or the lease of your property is contingent on being awarded that license. Last thing you want is to have, own a building without a purpose. Engineering, system design experience, that's for your cultivation and extraction. A possible interior designer, that's more for your retail dispensary space. How is it going to flow? that can really dictate if you see 100 people in a day or 200 people in a day. Manufacturing experience, that's for your extraction labs. Commercial cannabis construction, again, that cannabis part is really key. And government affairs. So high risk, but also high potential. So why are so many investors and people wanting to get into the cannabis industry? Well, because there's also really high potential. With cannabis real estate, it is high risk. Again, you can't use your traditional financing to purchase a property. It's all going to be, cash or private financing. But typically, where there's high risk, there's also really high potential. Here's a quote from Rick Frimmer. He's a managing director and head of a national cannabis advisory group. Before ever starting a property search, employ a team that includes a real estate broker, attorney, and accountant with knowledge and experience in handling cannabis transaction in the market where you plan to invest. Who is Higher Yields? We have a nationwide cannabis real estate team. We have designed and built facilities in California, Colorado, Florida, Illinois, Arizona, Nevada, Oklahoma, Michigan, and Massachusetts. The Higher Yields team has consulted on nearly 3 million square feet of cultivation, extraction, distribution, and retail facilities. Well, thank you for watching. My name is Shannon Bustos. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to our Higher Yields team.